Tonight, police investigate what's thought to be an attempted abduction near Whyalla Primary School. And Port Lincoln reaches fever pitch as the biggest weekend on the EP's footy calendar gets underway.
This is Southern Cross News with Fraser Goldsworthy.
Good evening. Police are investigating reports of suspicious behaviour outside a Whyalla Primary School. They say a student from Long Street Primary was approached by a stranger in the area surrounding the school grounds. John Hunt has the story.
It's the community's worst nightmare, a child nearly being abducted at school by a stranger. Long Street Primary School is dealing with that today as police launch an investigation. Police say they were called to the school yesterday morning. They say at around 8:40, a girl was walking on Long Street when she was approached by a man she didn't know. The man then spoke to the girl before she ran into the school and alerted a teacher. Police were called and conducted a search, as well as speaking to residents in the surrounding area. The child's family was also alerted. The school declined to comment on camera today, but has sent a letter home to parents. Principal Brian Rotherham has urged parents to be vigilant. He's asked them to be aware at all times of their children at school drop-off and pick-up times. He also says staff are on duty in the morning and afternoon to ensure children enter and exit school safely. The man's described as being 50 to 60 years old, clean-shaven with brown hair, wearing a green long-sleeve shirt and a dark-coloured polo shirt over the top. Now, police are reminding members of the public to be aware of their safety at all times and report any suspicious behaviour. Anyone with any information on this incident is being asked to call Crime Stoppers.
John Hunt reporting there. 7-year-old Levi Marlowe from Orroroo, who was involved in the horrific Mother's Day crash which killed his older sister, is now out of intensive care. His father has posted on social media saying it's unlikely he'll walk again, suffering from a number of broken bones. He says he's in good spirits and is adjusting as well as he can in the Women's and Children's in Adelaide, where he's expected to remain in recovery for up to 2 years. A GoFundMe page has already raised over $26,500 to help fund the family's medical expenses. Broken Hill has sweltered through one of its hottest summers in recent years. The Weather Bureau says temperatures were well above the city's average.
As the last of the warmer days go by and the winter chill sets in, many will be wishing for hotter weather. But after Broken Hill's recent summer, they may think twice.
Summer was significantly hotter than average. Daytime maximum temperatures in Broken Hill over the summer were 2 degrees above the long-term average.
Broken Hill's hottest day came back in January with the mercury tipping a scorching 44.3 degrees. It was part of a 4-day heat wave with temperatures above the 43 mark. But Broken Hill's April was where the record book had to be updated.
The hottest on record in Broken Hill as it was over much of New South Wales. April averaged 28.5 degrees, which is 4.1 above normal.
And like parts of the Spencer Gulf, rain has been a rarity in the Silver City.
Well, it's been extremely dry in Broken Hill this year. Broken Hill's only had 12 millimetres of rain since the start of the year, and that's actually Broken Hill's driest start to a year on record.
Broken Hill has only had 78 millimetres of rain over the last 12 months, less than a third of its long-term average, and the forecast for the month ahead looks more of the same.
Our seasonal outlook is actually looking quite dry. It's going for about a 75% chance of below average winter rainfall in Broken Hill.
The Bureau is predicting some rain to fall in Broken Hill this weekend though. Patrick Reinke, Southern Cross News.
Airedale Primary in Port Pirie has become one of the first schools in the region to pilot a new program aimed at encouraging students to consider university after school. While it's only been running for a few weeks, it's already proving to be a success.
Building the aspirations of regional school students.
Develops self-confidence, communication skills. It creates a love of learning in an area that is of interest to the children. They choose what they want to learn.
The Children's University program offers extra learning opportunities outside of school hours to help them decide their future.
The program encourages things like coding, STEM, and they can do it on the computer. They give them programs to do, so that if it's something they haven't thought about before, then maybe they might like to go into that area.
The program creates the idea at a younger age that university is an option by allowing them to see what they love doing outside of school could one day be their career.
The kids that love to play sport, you identify with them that they could go to university and study sports medicine, physiotherapy. They could become a PE teacher.
I thought it'd be really good because our kids do lots of extracurricular activities anyway, such as drama club and STEM club, and they play sports.
Because I'm really interested of going to uni, and I thought this might help me encourage myself and not be so scared of it.
The program is also being trialled at 6 other schools in the region. Rachel Nell, Southern Cross News.
Well, the final touches are being made for the biggest weekend on the Eyre Peninsula footy calendar. The Mortlock Shield Carnival is shaping up to be a hot contest, with the first bounce set for tomorrow morning.
We're just hours away from one of the biggest weekends in Port Lincoln.
You can see there's action out on the oval today, preparing the playing surface. Everything looks pretty good, and we're very excited.
The tournament has now been running for more than 80 years, and it's often regarded as Australia's longest running football carnival.
It started in the mid-30s, 1930s, and it was a vision, I think, from the people back then to provide an opportunity for footballers from around the region to participate at the highest level that we can in country football.
8 teams consisting of some of the state's best footballers are set to battle it out on the field, many travelling great distances.
We've got teams from as far north as Roxby Downs, the Far North Football League, are coming down. This is their second year now. We're really excited to have them back.
While Lincoln City came away with a surprise win last year, there could be other teams to watch out for.
I must say I'm really looking forward to the Midwest Football League. They're a very proud league, and I expect to see them perform really strongly.
And for those who can't get to Centenary Oval,
we're actually live streaming every match this weekend, with 5CC partnering with us on the last 2 games on Saturday and the last 2 games on Monday, so we're really excited.
Casey Trelaw, Southern Cross News.
And we'll have the tips for the Shield a little later in tonight's bulletin. Still to come tonight, more progress at the Silverton Wind Farm. That's next. Commonwealth Bank branches from Port Pirie and Kadina have today donated $30,000 to Uniting Country SA. Bank employees nominated the group to receive the funding as a way to say thank you for the support services it provides for the youth and families in the region.
Upgrading our some accommodation, emergency accommodation, so we'll be upgrading the play equipment and the surrounds and some landscaping, a shelter and barbecue.
Uniting Country SA says it's honoured to receive this year's donation. Some of Whyala's brightest uni students were recognised for their academia this week. Uni SA hosted the inaugural Student Acknowledgement Night, celebrating those holding scholarships and those awarded prizes.
Our students sacrifice a lot to study, and they're often balancing busy lives. So the support from local industry and local organisations is really well received.
15 students were recognised on the night across a variety of awards and disciplines. The milestones keep arriving at the Silverton Wind Farm, with the last of the concrete bases poured and nearly half of the turbines complete. AGL says despite a few setbacks from strong winds, the project is progressing according to plan.
An update meeting that came with good news.
Currently got 21 wind turbines that are installed, and we're generating from 9 of those.
There's still 27 more turbines to be erected at the site. 39 of the bases known as stubs have been installed, and all concrete foundations are now done and dusted.
Each foundation had 450 cubes of concrete, so a big job.
High wind speeds continue to hinder work crews lifting blades into position. To stay on schedule, they've brought in another crane to assist.
People can now see a bright yellow crane and a bright green crane on site, and that's been fantastic for helping to progress that activity. We're hoping the wind does die down a little bit so we can see that erection accelerate, but then as soon as the erection is done, we're wanting the wind to blow and keep blowing.
Once a turbine is up and the blades are on, it's not just a matter of flicking a switch and the job's done. There's an extensive testing process for each turbine. First up is a 24-hour test.
Once it's done that, they then stop the turbine, go up and down it to make sure that everything's working right. Then after that, it's ready to be put into service. And then after that, it starts the reliability test where it needs to run for 10 days straight without any errors.
And the Silverton community is being well taken care of. Solar panels and new water tanks for homes and a central cell tower are part of AGL's Community Enhancement Program. Funding to turn the town's municipal chambers into a community hub has also been awarded. Patrick Ryanke, Southern Cross News.
With many choosing to be cremated when they pass away, one Port Lincoln resident has noted a lack of a place for loved ones to reflect at the local cemetery. But they've come up with a solution in order to record the history of ancestors, friends and loved ones.
A touching project to reflect the region's loved ones.
I'm hoping that we can build a wall here at the cemetery so that we can have an area for plaques for people who have been cremated and ashes scattered elsewhere.
The idea came about from a personal reflection.
My parents' ashes have been scattered on a private property, and I do go there, and while I was there one day I thought to myself that there's so many people that haven't got anywhere special to go.
Anne says with many people in the area choosing to be scattered at sea or on private properties, there's no public display for them.
There's no public record of their final resting place, and for historians and genealogists there's nothing that there's nowhere that they can find information on these people.
For several years, Anne has voiced her vision, with council now looking to take it on board.
They do plan to consider it in the 2019-20 budget, and I do hope too that maybe some service clubs in Port Lincoln might come on board.
I really value Anne taking this on board, bringing it to our attention and furthering it along. It's been passionate to her for some time, and it's great to be able to see something happen for her and for all our families.
Casey Trelaw, Southern Cross News.
After the break, a Peterborough farmer set to undertake quite the challenge for charity this weekend. Find out what he'll be doing next. "14-year-old Gladstone High student Zeffie Neal has had her work shown off across the country in every Indigenous Round AFL game. Her design was featured on the back of the Green Umpire's uniform and reflects the calm and positive thoughts she had while drawing it.
Turtle's nest, and the turtles are protecting the nest with their eggs in it from different sea life.
She says her and her family were overwhelmed with happiness as they watched her design on the oval in last week's Crows game in Adelaide. Ayr High School in Whyalla is celebrating its 50th birthday this long weekend, with old scholars from as far away as the US returning to celebrate. The school will hold open days to give them a glimpse at their old stomping grounds.
Opened in 1968, Ayr High catered for Whyalla's population boom with a peak capacity of 1,200 students. Its 50th birthday is this weekend, and past students are returning to join the party.
When you leave school, obviously those relationships sometimes aren't maintained, and this provides an opportunity for people to come back and, remember the great times they had.
Open tours will be conducted on both Saturday and Sunday, which will include a display of old photos and memorabilia. The main feature, however, will be the reunion dinner at Central's on Saturday night,
which will be an opportunity for people, all the people to get together and socialise. And
Mr. Cloden says Exes will see changes to the school and how kids learn.
We've made a conscious effort to provide the best opportunity and facilities for our kids to learn. We know that that has an impact.
It'll be an emotional party as well, with a new school scheduled for 2022. This could be the last chance for old scholars to visit their old stomping ground.
This could be, the last celebration that we do get to have. Therefore, we need to make the most of that.
Caitlin Hector will be one current student leading the former ones around. She's second generation at Ayr High and can't wait to be a part of it.
Show you that how different the school's changed and how we've grown as a school over the last 50 years.
John Hunt, Southern Cross News.
Meantime, Whyalla is preparing to host the State Country Dart Championship this weekend. 200 players from across SA will converge on the Westlands Hotel to find out who's the best of the best. The local darts community has been busy preparing for the event during this round of the local comp. It's also a big boom for the local hospitality market, which is expected to be full all weekend. Play begins tomorrow morning and will wrap up on Sunday afternoon. A Peterborough sheep farmer is set to take on a massive challenge this long weekend in a bid to raise thousands of dollars for camp quality. He'll be shearing hundreds of sheep over 24 hours, only stopping to change tools and have a bite to eat.
Rustle up for Sleepy's Shear-a-thon. Most people can't shear one sheep, let alone hundreds, in 24 hours straight. But that's exactly what farmer Russell Sleep is aiming to do.
So basically just shearing as close to 24 hours continuous as I can. I should shear somewhere between 400 sheep, so just as I've seen there, just doing the same thing over and over again. So
he'll kick off the challenge at noon on Saturday at the Jamestown Showgrounds and shear through to Sunday afternoon, only stopping for 10 minutes at a time to sharpen tools and rehydrate.
I'll run 2 hand pieces and then I'll change the combs. At the end of the 2 hours, and then I'll just grab something to eat and then sort of keep going.
He's hoping to raise thousands of dollars for Camp Quality, a charity that reaches out to the entire family when a loved one is ill.
A child's getting chemotherapy and stuff like that, Camp Quality will pay a clown or something like that to be along and sort of just take their mind away from it. So it just seemed like a bit of a good fun sort of a charity and sort of struck a bit of a chord.
The Shear-a-thon will be a family fun day with plenty of action. There's a kids come and try shearing activity as well as face painting and other stalls.
But it won't just be shearing, there will be live music and stuff like that as well. There's a magician coming on Sunday morning for the kids. So it'll be real sort of a community event.
Rachel Nell, Southern Cross News.
What an effort, good luck to him. Now time for the Mortlock Shield footy tips.
Welcome to my favourite weekend of the year, the Bendigo Bank Mortlock Shield, where the best players from across the Eyre Peninsula and Roxby Downs showcase some of the best football this region has to offer. The first game kicks off at 9 AM at Centenary Oval, with Midwest taking on Far North. I'm tipping Midwest to win this game. In the next game, kicking off at 11 AM, we have Eastern Eyre taking on Lincoln Districts. This should be a good game with both teams performing very well last year. In the afternoon, we've got the EP Sharks taking on Far West. EP Sharks always produce a strong team, and it's going to be hard not to tip them in this game. And to finish the day off, at 3:15, we have Lincoln City taking on Great Flinders. Being last year's winners, I'm going to have to go with Lincoln City to win this one.
Good luck to everyone. Stay with us. After the break, we'll have all the local weather details with Amy Stevenson. And Amy, the rain has settled in as we head into the long weekend.
It sure has, Fraser. However, there will be a break from the wet weather over the weekend. I'll have the details next. Welcome back. Temperatures dropped around the region today as we experienced another wet day. Port Lincoln reached a high of 18, while Port Augusta and Port Pirie sat a couple of degrees cooler. A rainy 15 in Whyalla. Taking a look at the satellite now, and a low pressure trough over southern and western parts of the state is bringing areas of rain. Skies are clearer over the northeast under a weakening high pressure ridge. If you're spending your long weekend out on the waters, easterly winds will pick up to 15 knots with seas reaching 1 metre. Sunrise is at 19 past 7 while it will set at 5:17. Taking a look at tomorrow's forecast, and despite a cloudy start to the weekend, there will be a break from the wet weather. Port Augusta heading for 19. Maximums in Whyalla, Coffin Bay and Cleve will sit in the mid-teens. Looking ahead into next week, and showers predicted in Port Lincoln with a top of 17 on Tuesday. A similar long weekend expected in Cleve, while Woodna will be cloudy but stay dry as we head back to work on Tuesday. Conditions in Whyalla will fine up by the start of next week with a top of 17, showers and 21 on Monday in Port Augusta before a mostly sunny Tuesday. Meanwhile, Kadina will see some showers early in the week. After tops of 20, Port Pirie will cool down to 16 degrees over the weekend. Clare is in for a chilly 12 on Tuesday with possible showers. And after a cloudy few days in Broken Hill, it'll fine up just in time for work on Tuesday. So Fraser, although it's been a rainy few days, there will be an opportunity to enjoy the outdoors this long weekend.
Thanks, Amy, and that's the local news this Friday. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back on Tuesday, so we look forward to your company then. Enjoy the footy and have a great weekend. Good night.